All right, what's up, everybody? So today we're going to be doing a Street Fighter 6 balance patch prediction. So as you guys all know, March 17th is going to be a big balance patch. They said character balance patch, balance for every single character in the game. Last time I did a balance prediction, I think my predictions were pretty on point. The last time I did this, maybe about a year ago, something like that. So we're going to do this today. I'm going to say who I think is going to get buffed, who I think is going to get nerfed, who I think is going to kind of stay the same. We're going to start with Ryu. So Ryu, I think Ryu is going to get small nerfs. But one thing I want to say, one thing, before I get into like why I think he's going to get small nerfs, everything, what I really hope is that my huge pet peeve with nerfs is when any fighting game developer simply nerfs the character. I don't want them to just nerf the character. I want them to also give the character something fun to do. It doesn't have to have any effect whatsoever on the character's like tier list. It can be something fun to do, because I think whenever we are talking about like buffs and nerfs, we're always thinking about just about the tournament players. But I mean, tournament players are such a small number of the overall community. And while I do love tournaments and watching high level players play, a large amount of people who play this game aren't really tournament players. And I think one of the worst things you can do in a balance patch is nerf a character, but then also not give them anything fun, anything interesting, anything new to do afterwards. Because the people who don't care about tournaments, the people who aren't good enough for tiers to actually matter, it just ruins their motivation. And if you make their favorite character feel much weaker, like so much weaker that even like a more casual player can kind of feel the difference, it just sucks, and it gets people to like stop playing the game. So I do hope for this balance patch, no matter who gets buffed, who gets nerfed, who stays the same, I hope they decide to give nerfed characters something new, something fun to do. I think it's really important. So anyways, I think Ryu's going to get some small nerfs. They buffed this character so much that even if they were to give him some decent sized nerfs, I think he'd still walk out pretty much okay. This character is really strong. Whether you think he's top 4, top 5, top 8, doesn't matter. This character steals rounds, steals matches. He has crazy comeback potential. His damage output is insane. I think he's going to get some small-ish nerfs between small and huge, but I think he's still going to be okay afterwards. Luke, I think Luke is going to get big buffs. This character, he's the poster boy. I know Capcom loves this character to death. You can feel their love for this character. You know they want Luke to be more loved. I don't think this character has been as well received as Capcom had hoped, or at least the designers had hoped. So I don't know. I think this guy's gonna get some big buffs just so they can see him on the stage again. That's my feeling. Nobody really plays this character no more. Like whatever, it's Luke, but I think he's gonna get some small nerfs. Some big buffs for sure. Chun-Li, I don't know. So I think she's gonna get small buffs in the sense that she's going to get. I really hope that they fix her instability. Like the level 2 dropping, all these kind of things. Her reversal, like her anti-air Tensho kick still is pretty funky, pretty wonky. I think if they just fix up that kind of stuff and make everything in her kit more consistent, I think it'll add up to be small buffs and it'll make her be a lot better to play. I think the biggest issue with a lot of Chun-Li players that they complain about is the inconsistencies. So if they fix that, I think it'll be good. And maybe they can give her something good to kind of like, make her a little bit better. Maybe buff the damage on her level 1 a little bit. It is one of the weaker level 1s in the game at this point. So let's see how that goes. I think she'll get some small buffs. Jamie, I don't know. I think Capcom is scared to buff this character too much. I think they know they've got a monster on their hands. I think 1 or 2 changes in the wrong way, kind of like what they did with Ryu, could end up being devastating. And I don't think people enjoy fighting against this character. Jamie players, like this character, his whole thing is like the drunken fist. Jamie players play this character like they're drunk. They live and embody this character. If you guys have fought a Jamie player, it doesn't matter if they're like bronze rank or like 2,500 MR. These guys are madmen. So I think he's going to stay the same or maybe get some small buffs. But I think they're going to basically keep him the same. That's it. Next is Guile. Guile's a weird one. Guile was one of, I remember when this game first came out, like season 1, everyone was saying this character was like top 5. Everyone's like, Guile's ridiculous. And then he's kind of like slowly kind of petered out. It's really just Kaba and Higuchi holding it down with this character, but he's definitely weaker. And I think this character didn't really get nerfed too much in terms of actual balance changes. Of course, like he lost the side switch combo in the corner, things like that. But I think the perfect parry change really hurt this character. I've said it so many times before, because he loses charge if he has to stand up to block a mid or those kind of parries. So yeah, I think this character's kind of fallen off a bit, but it's really hard to like buff this character. He's got like 2.5 special moves. How do you buff this guy outside of like damage or just like faster startup on his move? So I don't know. I think he's gonna get some small buffs actually, just because I don't know. Nobody's playing this character anymore. Maybe they can give the Guile player something kind of fun to do, some small buffs. But I don't think it's going to affect his tier placement too much. I think the way the perfect parry works doesn't really jive with his character right now, but maybe some small buffs, maybe improve his boom pressure on block, stuff like that. That could be something. I don't know if that would be a good idea or not. I'm just kind of thinking out loud here. I'm not saying what I want them to do, by the way, in this tier list. It's not what I want them to do or what I like would think is a good idea. This is just my prediction as to what is actually going to happen. Whether it's a good idea or not is a different story altogether. All right, Kimberly. Kimberly's weird. Kimberly needs a nerf. Here's what I think. I think Kimberly's going to stay the same, but she's going to get both buffs and nerfs. So I think what they should do for Kimberly, what I think they're going to do for Kimberly, I think the standing hard punch to run being a frame trap and standing medium punch to run being a frame trap is pretty ridiculous. I think a lot of people hate that. So I think they're going to nerf that, but they're probably going to buff something else. And I don't think they're going to give her invulnerable DP or anything like that, but maybe something with her bombs, give her even more set play in the corner, because it seems like that's where they want this character to go, somewhere in that direction, so they might buff that. But I think she's basically going to get nerfs to her run pressure and then buffs somewhere else. But at the end, I think she's going to stay kind of the same. She's kind of a really unstable character. When she's cooking, she's cooking, and when she's not, she's not. So that's where it is. Jury, I don't know, man. I think this character needs some sauce, even if they just kind of rework the way some things work. I think Jury players are incredibly bored with this character, but I think she's going to stay the same. I think Capcom did what they wanted to do with this character. I think she's going to stay the same. I don't think they're going to change much with this character. She's popular, especially around the more casual intermediate level, but I don't think they're going to change her. I think she's going to stay the same. I don't think Capcom knows what to do with this character. Dhalsim's another tricky one, because he's been getting buffs every single time. Like, I remember when the game first came out, everyone was saying this was like Dhalsim or like, what was it, Zangief, for like contested to be the 2 worst characters back in Season 1. He's gotten much better, but I think they're going to give him small buffs. Nothing crazy, but I think they're going to give Dhalsim small buffs. All right, Honda. Honda's a weird one. Honda's weird. I don't know where they're going to go with this character. The thing with Honda is he doesn't really have much representation at high level, even though he's like a pretty like solid character. If you guys have ever fought a really good Honda, he will fuck you up if you don't know the matchup. Like, he has some stuff, but he just doesn't really have the tools to compete at like top 16, top 8 level in like super stacked tournaments. But then the problem with Honda, yeah, the noob killer. I think Honda and Guile kind of have the same issue where everybody who's new to the game hates this character, and I think Honda and Guile have probably made more people quit this game than anybody else. So I think it's also a little bit dangerous to buff this guy too much. But then, I mean, even if you buff him in other places, I mean, lower level players can do like headbutt, butt slam stuff over and over again. They're not even going to use his buffs. But I don't know, I actually kind of think they will give this guy small buffs. I'm going to go with small buffs. It's just the feeling I have. Nobody plays this character. I think they're going to go with small buffs just for representation. The other thing too is with all these like buffs and nerfs every single patch, there's always one character who doesn't need buffs that gets it, and one character who doesn't need nerfs that also gets it. There's like kind of Russian roulette with a lot of these characters in a patch. There's always like one super lucky like lottery winner and one they just crash out at the casino character. I'm not quite sure who that's going to be. I'm going to go through this. Let's keep on going. Ken. Ken is tricky because they actually nerfed him, and a lot of people don't play this character anymore. I don't see him as much, especially at tournaments. But I think they'll give him small buffs. He's a popular character. I think they'll go with small buffs with this guy, to be perfectly honest. I think that's what they're going to do. What would they buff? I don't know. I hope they don't buff Jinrai. That would be a really lazy way to make this character better. Buffing Jinrai would be not the way I would want them to go with this character. Maybe small damage increase would help him out a bit. 2-frame throw loop. I don't know. I don't want them to play with the throw loop stuff. That's not really where I want them to go. But what do you call it? Yeah. Maybe a little tiny damage boost would be good. I don't know. All right, Blanca. I think this character's going to get huge nerfs, to nobody's surprise. This character, I think, is incredibly strong. Incredibly strong. And honestly, like, I think for me, if they just nerf some of the level 2 stuff, I think I'd be pretty cool with that. Then also, crouching medium punch, I think, is a little tiny bit too strong. Everything else he can kind of keep. I don't want him to lose his identity. Like, the whole thing when you knock him down in the corner, you don't know if he's going to do back... Blanco ball, or if he's going to wake up with his reversal. I think that's kind of okay. But the level 2 stuff, that crouching medium punch, a little bit too much. I think they're going to nerf this character, but he's got some stupid level 2 setups that are just pure guessing and just kind of takes player interaction completely out of everything. So I think they're going to go with huge nerfs on this character. Nerfing his level 2 would end up being huge nerf, so I'm going to go with that. DJ's another weird one. DJ's not bad at all. He's pretty good right now. I think DJ's kind of in a healthy spot in terms of character balance. I think he's going to stay the same. I'm sure I'm sure DJ players would like to get some buffs, but I think he's going to stay the same. I think he's kind of like a, how can I say, well-balanced character right now in the overall strength of this game. I think keep him there. Manon, you know what? I'm gonna go across popular opinion here. I think Manon's gonna get small buffs. I'm gonna go against what everybody else is thinking. I'm gonna make predictions on the small buffs to Manon. I don't think they're gonna make too much of a difference, but you heard it from me. I think they're gonna give small buffs. I know everyone's saying maybe she's gonna get nerfed because Japan hates grapplers, but I don't know. I'm gonna go with it. I'm gonna go with the small buffs to Manon. Let's see if I'm right in about a month. Okay, Marissa. I think Capcom also wants this character to be more popular. I don't know why. Something in my heart, I just feel it. I feel big buffs coming from Marissa. I'm going with it. I have no reason other than the fact that like she's gotten some small buffs and stuff over the past couple seasons, but she's never gotten anything huge. I think they're gonna go crazy with her this time. Just my gut feeling. I'm going big buffs from Marissa. JP, I actually think, you know what? JP's tricky. But anyways, JP, I think JP's gonna get some small nerfs. Okay, I need to add a chart. I'm gonna go with decent nerfs to JP. Because if they change the way like OD Ghost into level 2 works, and if they touch his level 2 stuff, I think it's really going to change the character. People might come up with new setups and everything, but I think in at least the first month or 2 months people are really figuring out, I think it'll feel like a decent nerf in the beginning. I would love to see some hurt box adjustments on this character. I think what they need to do with this character to make his buttons feel a bit better is to add an extended hurt box before moves like crouching hard punch and standing hard punch, before they come active. I get that he's smashing you with a stick and they want him to have like quick recovery and everything because of the stick, but they gotta make it so that you can actually poke against this character a little bit better. I think that would be a great way to do it. But again, this isn't about what I think they should do. I think this is what's going to happen. All right, Cammy, I think she's gonna stay the same. Cammy always gets like nerfed in every single version of the game. She's always strong when Street Fighter comes out, like Street Fighter 4, 5, 6. She's always like strong in the beginning and they just like kind of always nerf her, keep her the same. So I think she's going to stay the same. I don't think I'm going to touch this character. Lily, I think they're also going to keep Lily the same. This character has, I don't know what they were thinking when they made this character. It's one of the most boring game plans ever. Forget the design and everything, but I mean, there's only so much you can do with this character. I think she's going to stay the same. They have no idea what to do with Lily. I don't think they knew what to do when they were designing this character, to be honest. All right, Zangief. I don't think he's going to stay the same. Rashid, I don't know. I'm trying to not let my personal bias shine through with this character because I despise this character with my heart and soul. I'm going to go small buffs. He kind of fell off this season. I think Rashid players want a little bit of love, and I think Capcom's going to give it to him. Capcom likes this character. All right, Aki. Again, Aki's another one kind of like DJ. I think she's in a good place. She got some buffs before. I don't think Aki's a bad character at all. I think she just kind of struggles against the top tiers. If the top tiers that she struggles against, characters like Akuma, Mai, Bison, if they get nerfed, she'll get a big buff. That would be like, they don't even need to touch the character, but she'd get a big buff because the ones that she struggles against don't do well. But in terms of actual balance, I think they're going to keep her the same. In terms of like the actual patch notes, I don't think she's going to change too much. She'll be the same. Ed, I think Ed is going to get huge nerfs. I think the writing's on the wall with this character. It's nothing special. We all know how much Japan hates this character. I think he's going to get huge nerfs, but I don't think they're going to be as big as Blanca. Just my prediction. I don't think they're going to be as big as the Blanca nerfs. They're going to shoot him. You know what? I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go decent nerfs. Do I hate Ed? No, I don't hate Ed. The reason why I don't hate Ed is because unlike some of the other topper tier characters, like let's say like Bison, Mai, those kind of characters, I don't think it's super easy to be a top tournament level player with this character. It requires like quite a bit of skill. Like his Shin Dream combos, you have to actually practice that. It's hard to do in a tournament, those kind of things. So there's a bit of a execution and skill barrier with this character, but then once you get there, it's kind of ridiculous. But I don't think most of the player base is able to play at that level, which is why I feel like most players probably don't hate this character that much, is because there's not so much incredibly top, like super high level play available to the average player with this character. But if it was, I think there'd be more general hate towards this character. But I think they have decent nerfs. All right, next, Akuma. I actually think they're going to buff Akuma. Nothing crazy, but I think they're going to give him small buffs. I think this character's going to walk out okay. He's incredibly popular. People like Akuma. He hasn't been getting crazy tournament results lately. There's a couple people who do really well with him, but he's not like super duper crazy, like destroying like the online, like the tournament scene. I think he's gonna get small buffs. All right, I actually think they're gonna go for decent nerfs with Bison, and this is me as a Bison player too. I haven't played him lately because I've been playing Sagat, but I think they're gonna give Bison decent nerfs. I think this character is way too dumb. They need to do something to make this character a little bit less dumb. It's just, yeah, hella toxic. I agree. This is probably one of the most toxic characters in the game. But I think they kind of like stuck themselves in a rough place with this character because his kit is like so like uninteresting. He is just like Pachinko the character. If you guys don't know, in Japan they call this character Pachinkasu. Kasu means like shit, trash, and pachin is like pachinko, so it means like pachinko trash. Because all you're doing, you're just like fucking gambling every time you get knocked down with this character. Put the mine, all right, let's go. Delayed overhead, you tap parry, boom, you're done. Oh, you woke up DP, I lose. It's just like, you're just gambling every single time. And it's not even like difficult gambling, it's not even playing poker or something you're thinking. You're just like literally just like pulling the slot. What's it gonna be? It's like, oh, I think you're gonna throw a fireball, let's go, OG Psycho Crusher. This guy is just gambling all the time, always. Pachinkasu is how you say gambling slop in Japanese, and I think that's beautiful. It sure is. So I think this character is going to get decent buffs. All right. Sorry, decent nerfs. Did I say buffs? Decent nerfs. Terry, I think Terry's going to stay the same. This character, I think, is getting away with a lot by being just not as crazy strong as some of the top tiers right now. Like, not as strong as, like, Ed, JP, Blanca, Mai, Ryu. I think he's getting away with a lot, but he's also not, like, crazy obnoxious to fight either. I think he's a pretty standard character. Morning, whores. All right, I think Mai is going to get small nerfs. I don't think I'm gonna go crazy with this character. I think I'm gonna go with small nerfs. If they were gonna give this character incredibly big nerfs, I think they would have pulled the trigger on that mini patch we got, like, what was it, a month or 2 months ago? I think they would have done it then, because I don't think you need to have like a more wait and see approach with this character. I think it's very obvious where this character excels at and what she's good at. So if they were gonna nerf her, I think it would have been then. But I still think she's gonna avoid the big nerf. She's too popular. I think her play rate is so high. I think she's too popular. I think they're gonna go small nerfs. I'm sticking with it. That's my gut feeling. Lena, I think she's gonna stay the same. No, I think she has small buffs actually. I'm gonna say small buffs. I think they might fix her target combo stuff. I think they're with small buffs. All right, Sagat. I'm gonna go with small nerfs. I think I'm gonna give this guy a small nerf. I think people are realizing how strong this character is, and I think people don't enjoy fighting him. I love using this character, but I think I'm gonna give him a small nerf. I think they might touch his damage a little bit, because right now this guy's damage is just absolutely bonkers. If they just reduce his damage output by a little bit, I think it'll make the matchup feel a lot better. I don't think they need to change his kit, but just reducing the damage a little bit, I think that's where they're gonna go. So that's my prediction with Sagat. All right, Sea Viper. I think she's gonna get big buffs, and this character kind of needs it too. She is not doing super great right now. She's such a weird character too, because like her neutral sucks, and she's really bad at checking drive rush, which is like one of the most important things in this game. But then she can technically win just off like 1 or 2 good exchanges if she has lots of meter. She's like more of a glass cannon than Akuma in the way she plays, because Akuma at least is like neutral focused, right? So he doesn't have to play like bonkers all the time and really be like glass cannon-y always. But I think Sea Viper is gonna get the big buffs to make her more stable. One thing I think they should do, and maybe I'm crazy, but I think something like crouching medium punch into knuckle feint, I think it should give her like at least plus, like not at least, but I think she should be like +1 on that. I think she has to work way too hard for like -1 frames and get like mental advantage. I think she needs some like actual advantage. And then I think she also needs, I think one thing that would really help this character a lot would be to extend the hitbox on her standing light kick and her crouching medium punch, so at least this character can actually check drive rushes. I think that would be pretty good, and it would prevent the character from getting like ridiculously strong. That's it. And then the other thing I think they should do, I think they should kind of rework the way her level 1 works, because the way the level 1 works right now is if she uses it, her level 1 is like a timer, right? It goes down, so you can do as many seismo cancels, as many jump cancels as you want, and your drive gauge doesn't go down. But the problem is that whole time you're not building any super meter. But like Mai, she gets her power up with the level 1, you know, she's just like going bonkers. She gets nothing but buffs from her level 1. I think Sea Viper doesn't get enough benefit for doing the level 1. And I think they should do something about that. Something. I don't know if they can do anything with that. Their hands might be tied, but the level 1, I think it feels pretty underwhelming for Viper players. I think that'd be a nice little change. Also, another thing I think they should do for Viper. All right, you guys might hate me for this, and I'm switching away from my predictions to what I hope they do. Let me just say something with this character. I don't know why. What is it? Something Force? What's the thing when she does the shield from like Street Fighter 4? What's that called? Focus Force? Am I right? Focus Force? You know what I'm talking about, right? The shield thing? I don't know why she can't backdash out of that. I think it'd be a little toxic to give her a backdash out of that, but I mean, I think she should get it. It's really bad. It's totally like a pure reaction check kind of move. It doesn't really work into her kit. The only way you ever really actually use it is during DI stun combos in the corner when your opponent's burnt out just for extra damage. But other than that, it doesn't really have any real utility other than just like adding one more thing as kind of a fake mental stack option to your opponent's. I don't know. I hope they do something with Focus Force to actually make it a little bit more useful rather than just, haha, you don't know the matchup, or I caught ya, or okay, here's my cash out combo in the corner. I think they need to make it a little bit more interesting. But yeah, there we go. That's my prediction. So we got 3 characters in big buffs. How many in small buffs? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 characters in small buffs. 9 characters stay the same. 3 small nerfs. 3 decent nerfs. And I think 1 character's gonna get a huge nerf. No Alex. No Alex. I'm not making predictions. I don't have no idea if this character is going to be good or not. I think this character is going to take a while for people to understand if he's good or not. Unless he's like super broken out of the gate. But with all this stuff, I think it's going to take a little bit of time for people to really figure it out. But yeah, there you go. Those are my predictions. Let me know in the comments. Do you agree, disagree? And what kind of changes do you want to see in the next season of Street Fighter 6? Let me know. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe. Helps me out a lot. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Take it easy. Peace.